And, daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin. So tell him to come and touch it.
Oh, wow.
Gervonta Davis just demolished Terence Crawford after Saudi billionaire Alec decided to hand Crawford a ridiculous $25 $30 million per fight paycheck, rewarding mediocrity. Meanwhile, Tank didn't even get a seat at the Ring Magazine Awards, but he wasn't about to stay quiet. Davis lit up Crawford and his team of Saudi sellouts, calling them out for kissing up to cash in on exhibition matches. Tank didn't hold back, even dragging Alec, saying the billionaire knows as much about boxing as Crawford does about humility. While Crawford hypes up small crowds in Riyadh, Tank is selling out American arenas like the true star he is. Davis isn't just exposing that hypocrisy. He's obliterating Crawford's so-called greatness, and it's a sight to behold.
These fighters now, they trash. Yeah, they trash. I think back in the day, fighters was better than the fighters today.
At the Ring Magazine Awards, held at London's Royal Naval College, every big name was in attendance. Canelo, Usyk, Devin Haney, but Tank was snubbed. Instead of sulking, Davis took to Instagram to drop the truth bomb. He shredded Eddie Hearn, calling him a little rat, and roasted mastermind Alec, accusing him of playing politics rather than respecting the sport. Tank didn't stop there. He took aim at the entire circus of fighters selling out to Saudi Arabia, telling them, "Keep your Riyadh riches. I'll stick to packing arenas in America." Davis made it clear he's staying true to boxing's real fans.
I've been hearing some rumblings about Terence Crawford versus Tank Davis. And when I think about this fight, I am getting Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia vibes.
Meanwhile, Crawford couldn't resist chiming in, playing the smug commentator nobody asked for. He tweeted something like, "I see someone's mad they weren't invited. When your best clapback is as weak as your pay-per-view numbers, maybe sit this one out." But Crawford wasn't done. He had to remind everyone of his two-time undisputed champion status, as if Tank wasn't already tearing through his own division with far more style and far fewer speeches. Crawford's need to self-promote only showed how out of touch he was with what fans truly value.
Obviously, all the fans want to see you and Tank in a ring this year. Do you think Turkey Al-Sheikh's the man to make that?
Yeah, I think that that's going to be a tremendous fight. I think he's saving boxing, so once Tank gets with him, and I think the fight's going to happen.
And let's talk about Crawford's so-called wisdom on greatness. He actually had the nerve to say Tank should step up if he wants to be great. Step up, Crawford. My guy, you're barely stepping out of your comfort zone. Sure, you've conquered multiple weight classes, but let's not pretend it was some heroic gauntlet of impossible opponents. Tank is staying in his lane, dominating his division with knockout after knockout, while Crawford's out here cherry-picking paths to glory and acting like the second coming of Ali. It's a joke, really.
Somebody like Tank say, 147, I knock Bud out.
Well, he just talking. Mm-hmm. He got the confidence in himself that he believed that he can do that because he's been knocking all these fighters out that he's been in the ring with.
Crawford's delusions of superiority fall apart the moment you compare star power. Tank's highlight reels alone could sell out arenas, while Crawford's technical prowess, though solid for boxing purists, isn't exactly lighting up the mainstream. Crawford fights like a textbook, while Tank is more of a blockbuster action film. And let's be real, people tune in for blockbusters, not lectures on boxing fundamentals. But it doesn't stop there. Crawford's hypocrisy deserves its own spotlight. He's cozy at 147, throwing shade at Tank for not stepping up. But has he ever considered stepping down? Of course not, because he knows Tank would steamroll him in a fair fight. Crawford's whole strategy is to stay just out of reach, barking from a safe distance while Tank keeps delivering in the ring, with the crowd, and on the scoreboard.
How far away are we from getting Bud Crawford and Tank Davis? And would weight be an issue there, or would that just be a matter of you waiting for him to be ready for you?
Yeah, no, Tank is at a lower weight class than me. He's at 135, I'm at 147. That's 2 weight classes apart.
So he would have to come up.
Yeah, because I wouldn't never.
You can't get that low.
So that's not gonna happen. Because I saw people talking about it. You don't think that'll.
This isn't about who's the better boxer. It's about Crawford's fragile ego being bruised by Tank's meteoric rise. Tank doesn't need to parade his stats because his punches speak for themselves. Meanwhile, Crawford's out here desperately reminding everyone of his accolades, as if legacy is something you announce instead of earn. Terence Crawford struts around like he's the undisputed king of boxing, but let's cut through the hype. Sure, he's the first fighter to unify 2 divisions, and his TKO over Errol Spence Jr. was impressive for about 5 minutes, but the guy is chasing legacy like it's a scavenger hunt. Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis is out there actually building his. Crawford's resume might be dripping with stats, but let's not kid ourselves. It's padded with names that even hardcore fans have to Google. Tank, on the other hand, is handing out knockouts like party favors, giving fans what they really came to see: raw, explosive action.
One thing I can say about Tank is he's smart. He can box.
Yes.
And he explosive. You know what I mean? But I'm saying skill-wise.
Crawford loves to pat himself on the back for being bold. But let's be real. This guy's out here talking about fighting Canelo Alvarez at 168 bulbs, jumping up 3 weight classes like he's on a mission to redefine arrogance. Bold? More like desperate. What's the point of moving up to face someone who'll boost your paycheck and ego, but not your credibility? Meanwhile, Tank doesn't need to chase gimmicks to stay relevant. He's dominating the lightweight division with an iron fist, serving highlight reel knockouts and pulling massive crowds, all without ever leaving his weight class. As Tank said, "I all think I'm chasing greatness. I'm not. That's what I have to do to make decent money, boys." And let's talk about Tank's little jab about fighting Crawford after Spence did. Did Tank retract it because he's scared? Please. He backed off because he knows better than to waste time on a guy who needs to wave his resume around to stay in the news. Crawford can brag about beating 14 champions across 4 weight classes, but let's be honest, those champions don't exactly scream immortality. Tank's victories, on the other hand, are unforgettable. He doesn't just beat opponents, he obliterates them. Crawford's stats are like a boring PowerPoint presentation, while Tank is the fireworks show.
What are your thoughts on Gervonta Davis saying that he's going to walk away from boxing after 2025?
Look, I don't blame him. I'll tell you that much. I don't blame him, man. This sport ain't no joke.
If the fire not there,
Crawford's obsession with money and politics is where he really loses the plot. Tank put it perfectly when he called out the Saudi cash chasers for kissing ass. And guess who fits that description to a T? That's right, Crawford. He's the poster boy for selling out, grinning ear to ear as Turkey Alex millions pad his bank account. Crawford loves to defend Alex investments, acting like they're for the good of boxing. Spoiler alert, they're not. It's all about control, branding, and profit, not elevating the sport. Crawford, he's just another player in their game, pretending it's all about noble intention. Tank didn't stop there. He dropped a bomb about Al Heyman, saying at least Alec picks up calls. Translation: boxing's politics are rotten, and Crawford is defending the same system that keeps the sport stagnant. Imagine Crawford trying to turn that into a win. Tank doesn't need calls or Saudi checks to stay afloat. He's doing just fine filling arenas and headlining fights that fans actually care about. And yeah, Crawford might be pocketing $25 million per fight, but let's not act like that buys him a free pass to lecture Tank about greatness. Tank's legacy isn't for sale, and Crawford's isn't either, no matter how many paychecks he cashes.
You know, daring to be great.
You will fight him.
Yeah, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Oh, wow.
Crawford's defense of Alec is laughable. He's out here bragging about fights being hosted in LA, London, and Riyadh like that's some game changer. Newsflash: fans don't care about exotic venues. They care about good fights. Tank's criticism wasn't just about the money, it was about exposing the pandering. Crawford, on the other hand, is practically Alec's PR rep, singing his praises at every turn while cashing those bloated paychecks. It's honestly embarrassing.
One thing I can say about Tank is he's smart. He can box.
Yes.
And he explosive. You know what I mean? But I'm saying skill-wise.
This rivalry isn't just about boxing skills. It's about principles. Crawford acts like he's the one chasing history. But let's not forget that his legacy is built on strategic matchmaking and safe bets. Tank, on the other hand, is the real deal. He's dominating his division, speaking out against the nonsense that's holding boxing back, and delivering the drama, excitement, and authenticity fans crave. Crawford might daydream about super middleweight showdowns, but Tank is focused on being remembered as the fighter who redefined the sport. Now, Let's address the fantasy matchup talk. Some so-called experts, like Roy Jones Jr., think a Crawford versus Tank fight at a catchweight would be epic. Let me save you the speculation, it wouldn't be. Crawford may have versatility and technical skills, but one clean shot from Tank, and that debate is over. While Crawford is busy talking about moving up to fight Canelo, Tank is making every fight count, winning hearts, and delivering unforgettable moments. The idea of Tank retiring by 2025 might seem premature, but let's be honest, he's already done more for the sport than Crawford ever will. This rivalry isn't just a clash of fighters, it's a clash of ideals. Crawford can keep chasing headlines and cash grabs, but Tank, he's the embodiment of greatness. No amount of Saudi money or padded stats can change that.